like one I use more often than that because I just tell her mom sometimes I just go sana. Yeah.
Sana. All right, you pass that one. Good.
I try.
You did that. You did good too. Food. What food can you identify that from her culture that you don't have to have eaten it or liked it?
No, I've eaten it because she's told me it's essentially the kind of food that she used to eat. It's Chipotle. She loves Chipotle so much because she said it reminds her of the food from home.
I mean, it's like Githeri because
exactly.
it has beans and
yeah.
And we went to Disney. They had a food festival, and guess what we found? Githeri. And for the Florida prize, they invited a culinary arts person to make Githeri, to serve Githeri
are you serious?
at the event.
And then we go to
honor of my work.
Who was the guy we went to at the UCF event? He was opening up a.
Oh, that was West Africa.
That was West
African food.
Oh.
But so the reason I'm saying that his family is very accepting is because I was very scared, as I told you, as an artist making work that could be seen controversial. And my work contains nudity sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
I saw online a picture, a sculpture of a woman, and I mean, there's lots of messages, and I kept on, searching and searching because people kept telling me she's remarkable. Just go find her work, and I spent the whole night just looking and looking, and it's really, really, really a message for sure.
Thank you, thank you. So to have in-laws that support my work that much is really, really important to me. And also the reason I love him and his family so much is because I didn't feel like I'm being scrutinized to be checked if I'm the perfect wife material, like how we have that concept. And when I visit their home in Massachusetts, I don't feel like I'm being judged whether I'm like a wife material if I'm doing this. Even when I'm around his parents, I'm not being treated like a chore doer. You get it? I'm never feeling like I have to prove myself to them in any way.
No.
Like his mom will serve me breakfast. I will interact with them like I'm part of them instead of like, you know how the concept of daughter-in-law in Kenya is a little bit skewed?
Yes.
You checked whether you can, what can you cook, how can you do
They give you higher standards.
Yeah, it's like a test that you're taking.
And that is an example of what you refer to as some of these cultural acts that promote feminism. I mean, that actually go against what right?
Against what I believe. Because as I was saying before, even as a young child, I questioned a lot of these things. Like, why is it that the woman has to do all the chores? And so I promised myself I will never, ever get married to a man that treated me as just a chore doer. The other day we had a really interesting conversation. You remember when I asked you if you'd be comfortable by having a submissive wife? And it was like, no, that's weird. Why would you want a wife that does everything for you like you're a child and bows before you like you are greater than them?
I lived on my own for a long period of time, so I know how to take care of myself because I had to. So having somebody do it for me, unless, look, don't get me wrong. If she was cooking dinner and she made me some, that's fine. But it's the same vice versa. If I'm cooking dinner, it's
we don't have these gender assigned roles that are so traditional, and that is some of the things you are trying to change or influence through your art, right?
Yeah, and it starts in the little things like a woman being expected to do all the house chores while she's also working and taking care of the babies, and then it spreads to bigger things like child marriages or female genital mutilation or even sexual assault, and it's just so many things. This is just one of the simplest, most basic example that was very easy for me to notice as a child. Yeah, so I questioned a lot.
You questioned a lot, and indeed you did find Tony who had the answers.
Well, I mean, the thing that's interesting is she mentioned my mother and my father being very accepting and open to like her artwork and everything like that. One of the key factors with my mom specifically is where she grew up in Massachusetts. My mother grew up in Berkshire County, Massachusetts, which is very well known for one particular artist by the name of Norman Rockwell. Rockwell was still alive around the time my mother was a kid, and we have a couple pieces in here, but she grew up in sort of like someplace that I want to take her during the summer because it's a very, very art-oriented town, very just art culture. I mean, right down the road from where my grandparents' house is, the downtown area of Lenox, Mass, is just all art galleries. It's all it is.
Wow.
Small art gallery. It doesn't matter if it's paintings, if it's glassware, if it's sculptures. They're all based in there. And I didn't realize it as a kid because we used to go to downtown just to go to this small family-owned grocery store to get, meats and cheeses for sandwiches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
During the summer months, we would go up there and spend time at the pool, and then we would go get meats and sandwiches and stuff for dinner at the grocery store. Didn't even realize I was passing through a lot of amazing art galleries and stuff like that. And then as I got older and got more indulged in the scene, realizing specifically Rockwell as a painter and as an artist himself, what kind of cultural clash and what he brought to the world. And then just to find out that a lot of the people that are in his paintings are, people from that town. And, it's so...
They say if you keep going to an art gallery, eventually the art begins to speak to you and in a ways that you never even imagined.
So it's just part... So it's one of the things that my mom, she had discussions with you about a couple of the classes that she took and everything like that. So she's very open about art and everything like that. So that's why she again, blown away by her work when she first saw it. And my father as well, very blown away by her work,
Thank you.
Wow.
So,
Sounds like an extremely very supportive, family, and thanks to both of you. You seem to have, the spark in you is real, and I mean, I can't wish you more than what you already have, but I wish you well in your future. And so what are the other plans you guys have? I mean, she's already starting to perform really well. Her work is being exhibited all over. Before you know it, maybe you'll be exhibiting in Europe, in Africa, in China.
That's the dream.
What is the biggest scope that you guys have thought about? Because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And so have you guys thought about that? For example, if you're invited to Paris,
if I go to Paris, that'd be an interesting couple of weeks if I got to spend some time in Paris. I've never traveled outside of the U.S. So obviously, I think the first will hopefully be to Africa to visit her family, which will mean that the connecting flight, depending on where it is, will probably be the first time I'm in that country as well.
Yeah, I mean, we do have direct flights from New York, right? We still have them.
We do?
Kenya Airways still flies.
I didn't know that.
They fly direct from New York to Nairobi.
Oh.
They say you take breakfast in New York and you take dinner in Nairobi. Yeah, so it's a 16-hour flight.
Wow.
Yeah, it's between 12 to 15-hour flight.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so I've taken that flight at least 3 times. So we do have direct flights from New York.
We were looking directly from here, and from here we're saying go to London, take a 24-hour layover, and then from London to Nairobi.
It still works. You can still have a detour and have fun, right?
Yeah.
I think it's because I came during COVID, so that's what we are finding.
Oh yeah, they resumed. In fact, there used to be daily flights. Now it's like after every 2 days, but there used to be daily flights. Because after COVID. Yeah, so I used that. I think I've used it 3 times. So really cool. You wake up, back. It's cold in New York. You wake up in Nairobi. And you should warn Tony. I mean, I know that many people, they land in Nairobi in Africa and they say, "Oh, really? This is not what I was seeing in the news." Because I remember I had a friend of mine who landed at JKIA at the airport, and the first thing he saw was a subway. It's like, the subway here. Then when he turned, he saw a Burger King. It's like, Where are we? Are we really? No, are we really in Africa? So. I mean, what I can always tell you, I mean, you're gonna have a good experience. You learn lots of, African culture, but at the same time, you won't miss anything.
Oh, problem.
Yeah, you won't miss any American.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so even if you still want to be able to eat, your burger, you'll find
Oh,
it.
no. You don't have to worry about that with me. I try to stay away from all that fast food stuff. So,
Okay, yeah.
So when I go to, I like to try new things anyway. So it'd be a great experience regardless.
Okay,
for
cool.
me. I mean, to be quite honest, I would just want to go to her mom's house and see what her mom cooks for us. So, because my mother, every time she goes to visits, I mean, she always tries to make sure she gets her something nice for dinner, specifically. I mean, what was
Wow.
the
Like
last?
what are they called? The double potato?
We had the day, I think, before we left around Christmas. My mom got big things of steak and then baked stuffed potatoes.
Oh.
You carve out some potatoes, mash them, and then you melt cheese.
Yeah,
And
we
then put them back in. Oh,
together.
So we had that, and I think we had some veggies and stuff like that. And she loves doing stuff like she loves to have us over. She loves to have my brother, my sister-in-law, and the nephews over, the grandkids over, and so that she can see them. And then they always end up getting something nice for dinner and stuff like that. So that's what she just loves to do.
Wow, the phone sounds delicious. Now, the final thing was on daughter's food, language, clothing.
Oh, I've been told I have to wear. I've been told that I have to wear a shirt when I go to Nairobi. What was the Swahili phrase for?
It was a hoodie that says "Sina Pesa." It was a joke I saw online of someone who said that they should have their partner wear that when they go to the village.
Oh yeah, that would be great. It's gonna say like the hoodie says. I have no money.
Yeah,
because they're gonna say Tony and say, hey, this guy
so
should.
he doesn't get overcharged for everything.
Yeah,
Tourist.
they'll overcharge you for everything.
Everything.
Like at the park. I went to one of the parks. Actually at the Bomas of Kenya, where they played these traditional dances. So I went with my 8-year-old daughter. So it's actually only $5 if you are Kenyan. And $50 if you are a tourist. So when they asked like, oh, okay, you guys, are you Kenyans? I said yes, and my daughter yelled, no. We just paid $200 when we were supposed to have paid only $20.
Oh my goodness.
She sold our idea.
Oh my goodness gracious.
But that is official though. But if you go shopping, in some places, they're just gonna inflate the prices for nothing.
Yeah, they will.
I just thought it would be funny to wear. She goes, well, they're gonna probably overcharge you. I go, just let me wear a shirt. I'm broke. I go, I work a 9 to 5. I go, I'm broke. I don't have a lot of money.
In fact, there are some cool ones that you can easily make, like you say, you use the Kenyan lingo, like things like hustler. I'm a hustler. They're just gonna laugh at you. They're gonna say, "Oh, cool, you're cool."
It reminds me of the episode of Baparta Bashola.
I watched that. I used to watch that show.
Where he was trying to haggle that price in the market.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe it was right before their little wedding episode. There he was in the market getting all the food and stuff like that.
And I'm told in real life that lady is actually married to that dude.
Really?
No.
Because somebody lied to me because the other guy used to act alone.
No. Billy Gardell is, I know, he's not married to her.
No, because he acted even in some movies, I think. Billy has acted in some movies.
No, he's been in a lot of sitcoms. He was in Mike and Molly before this, and then he was in that show Young Sheldon. We should ask him. He's coming to Orlando in like a couple weeks for a comedy show.
He's coming to Orlando?
Yeah. $35. I'm like, I gotta see him. He's a great comedian. I have one of his comedy specials up there. I believe it's called Halftime. Love it. Yeah, he's a great comedian. But we fell in love with that show.
So you love comedy? I mean,
yes,
I'm getting interested with some other things. So you love comedy as well?
Yes, sir.
I
grew up with a lot of comedy. I think the first special I ever saw was Robin Williams live on Broadway back in
Oh, Robin Williams.
2002. Yeah, it was an amazing special because I think it was like one of the first specials they did in New York right after the attacks.